Morning, everyone. It is, what is it, July 11th, 2020, Saturday, 9:30 a.m., Indianapolis. No. It's going to be a nice day, 80 degrees. Kind of looking forward to it. Go sit out on the patio maybe a little bit. Today I don't really have a scope of work to do for us. So I am going to just kind of I'm going to look through some ads and see if we can we're just going to run numbers on properties just off of ads. I know a lot of people think that, well, you can't do that. Well, you actually can. You can do that. You can run numbers and you can get the perfect number or the max allowable offer. You can figure out what you need to be all into a property for rentals wise. You can even do it with flips. We'll see how this goes. Maybe we'll do a flip. I don't know. But basically, what we're going to do is we're going to run numbers, and then we'll come up with a number of I need to be all in for 40,000, 80,000, a million, and my return will be where I want it to be. And so we're just going to run some numbers off of ads. Now, I'm not saying that, and I have made offers off of these ads, because if they include good pictures, usually I can even look at the scope, just kind of look at those pictures, and then I can come up with a rough estimate of numbers, and then I can come up with an offer to make them. But a lot of times, you can kind of look at a couple pictures, maybe even just, if you just got the bare bones facts, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, it's, whatever, here's the address. I can give you numbers on it. Now, if I say that my max allowable offer is 40,000, and then we go in and the house needs $30,000 worth of work, then you probably want to pick it up for sub $10,000, right? If your max allowable offer is 100K, that's all in. Then and it needs $50,000 worth of work, then you want to come in under $50,000 worth of work. Flips and stuff like that, there's different numbers that you run because you're going to have holding costs and stuff like that, because it's not, you got to pay yourself while you're working on the property while it's vacant, right? That's the reason when we run numbers, we run vacancy rates, right? So, so we're going to run some numbers, and if we get anybody who dials in and they have questions, we will go through it. Otherwise, leave the comments below and click the like. Let's get to it. All right, so this is I don't know why mine does this. So this is a property here. I'm on Indianapolis Out of State Investors page. I'm not sure if I'm really interested in that one. Let's see here. Hold on. I got another one here. I saw this morning. I was just kind of cruising a little bit. This one is interesting. I like the looks of this building. I think it's cool. It may be not a horrible, destruction type event here. Now, we're going to check a lot of this stuff while we do these numbers on this. Morning, everybody. We got a couple people just jumping in. So we're going to run some numbers on this property, even though I have no information about this property. I don't even know who this guy is. Let's just do a quick look at the pictures. That's kind of cool. Got the old cedar effect on the front. Looks like it's finished on the inside, but we only got 2 pictures. Whew, that's a lot to go by, right? So typically when I'm looking at pictures, I'm looking at the roofs. Looks like you've got window units, right? I got ripped out screens. Yeah. I can't tell if the roof is decent or not. This is either 3-tier roof that is kind of starting to peel, or it's a newer roof, a 3-dimensional roof, and I just can't tell from the picture. Interior here, a little bit of touch up and repaint. The flooring looks like it's this stuff. Really, we can't tell a whole lot from this ad, right? Oh, all pictures and details here. Click here to view pictures. All right, so let's see what we got here. So again, this is our property. I'm gonna scooch in here and see if I can see. Kind of looks like 3-tab roof, but I may be wrong. Hi, Allison. Good morning. I don't know if this lot comes with the property. There's the next door neighbor, so it's a semi. This one's not too bad. That's got three-dimensional, or not three-dimensional, but it's got 3-tab roof on it. Looks like it's older. Then this one down here looks pretty rough. Look, see, there's a bunch of siding missing on this one over here. All right, so let's see what else we got. We got a big commercial building down the street. Oh, this is our house. So yeah, it does look like it's a 3-tab roof on this property. So usually that's typically older. Most people putting roofs on houses nowadays are putting in 3-dimensional shingles. Again, a lot of these windows don't have whatchamacallit on it. The paint looks like it's peeling. If it is paint, I assume it's paint. You're gonna need some tuck pointing in here. So there's definitely some repairs here. Oh, busted out window. Woohoo! Fancy now. As always, gutters need to be run away. So it is a 3-tab roof, and it looks like it's older, so it's probably going to need a new roof. We'll budget for a new roof because, typically what I'm looking for when I'm looking at roofs, you can see some little bit of rot over here, but the gutters are in place. That's good. You got some bubbling up here. I don't know if you guys can see that. You've got a little bit of rot here. There's missing fascia boards there. So there's obviously some maintenance and upkeep that needs to be done. I do like the color. Nothing scares me at this point. So it looks like the one neighbor is... There is one of them living there at least. Yeah, screens are all shot, but it looks like it's got newer windows. I'm not sure if they're double pane or not. Could be, that's not storm windows. So it's painted. So why are we looking at neighbors? Okay, more neighbors across the street. So it's a little bit rundown area. Oh, there's a Habitat Restore. So this is probably a not a borrow pit. They used to do, it's either a coal chute or it's a cistern. And it's got central air. I like that. They look newer. I don't have the dates on this, does it? Nope. Looking relatively decent shape. Yep, the house is going to probably need a pressure wash and a repaint. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, there's the other central air, right? Is that two different ones or is that the same one? I think that's two separate ones. So two separate central airs. Yep, they showed us another picture. Gate on the back. There's one house. It's got some sort of a flooring system in there, probably a click lock. Doesn't look too bad, looks pretty decent. Kitchen cabinets, newer countertops, central air. That's right, Frank, I already said that. You're slow. So kitchen cabinets need to be refinished. Does look like it's got newer countertops. It's gonna need a repaint probably when the tenant moves out. I would figure a repaint. Look up here, you got somebody was painting and they got it all over the walls. Yeah, it's gonna need a repaint. So you could, here you got issues. You got this splatter all around the stove. Here's a drain for a washing machine. Yeah, it's gonna need a repaint. Blah, blah. Oh, that's pretty. You pay extra for that. You can see so much detail there. That's definitely worth putting in your promo pictures. Oh, there we go. Better one. I just want to go back and delete that one for him. Obviously a little bit of ceiling here. So this is your typical. This is probably your typical duplex here in Indy, an over under, not an over under, but a 2-level duplex. because the stairs are usually back here and they go up. This is probably a little bit higher end one of the duplexes because it does have a fireplace there. That was always an option back when these were built. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty typical. So when they built duplexes, whenever this thing was built, I forget, if it was a 2-story, it was basically like you walk in, there's one room, whether that's your living room probably, and then the next room was like your dining room, and then there was a staircase going up and a staircase usually going down to a basement, and then you had the kitchen in the back, right? So this is the main floor of each unit. And then if you go upstairs, then usually you've got either 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, and then the bathroom is at the back of the property. So what differentiated these was you got different options. You got brick, or you got like brick exterior. You got more windows. That was an option that they did. You got a fireplace. That was an option that you did. And more bedrooms. That was an option. But otherwise, they pretty much all followed that same floor plan and, whatever. So, like, I saw the creme de la creme of one of these duplexes over near, like, 22nd and Penn, 23rd and Penn, something like that. And every room had 3 to 6 windows. The exterior was total brick, and it was this darker brick here, and then it had a big huge chimney. Each side had a big huge fireplace, that was all brick, like this, and then it was 3 bedrooms on each side. And I found this property back in like 2007, and it kind of cracks me up because that area was nothing then. And they had it listed for $50,000. I told them I would give them. They agreed to take $30,000 in cash from me. I mean, I think at the time I ran the numbers and it figured it needed about $100,000 to $110,000 worth of rehab. So I had it under contract for $30,000. I had inspection done, and we found just a ton of foundation issues. The whole front porch was sinking down on both sides, so they'd had a lot of moisture penetration and stuff like that. So I was going to have to put piers underneath it, and it was anywhere from 9 to 12 piers that we were going to have to put underneath this property. At that point in time, it was about $1,000 a piece per pier. So you were talking like I want to say it was like $16,000 is what I was going to have to spend just putting in piers to, support the structure. And I mean, the big problem was this house was just so heavy. It had so much brickwork and so much, it was a beast. Anyway, so long story short, so I talked them down $15,000. Actually, I think I told them I'll give you 10 for it. They said we'll sell it to you for 15. I said no, nobody's going to buy this house for 15 even. I said I'll give you 10, and they said, look, if you don't take the 15 offer, we're going to list it down at the 30 price. And I said, go ahead, nobody's going to buy it for this price. And this was early in when I started working on multifams, and so anyway, so they listed it at 30, and one of my buddy's dads bought it for $30,000, sight unseen. Just immediately offered him cash and immediately bought it. And it was funny, I ran into my buddy's dad a couple of years later, and I said, hey, I had that house under contract before you did. And he says, yeah, I should have never bought it for what I paid for it. And I started laughing, and I go, do you want to know how much I had it under contract for? And so anyway, so we laughed about it. But all right, so enough about stories. So this house has got some options on it. This is, you got the brick fireplace. This is the upstairs. This is pretty typical for these duplexes, these the 2-story duplexes. So typically, so we're looking back. So this door here goes to the bathroom. And then there should be a, let me think here for a second. No, this is not, something's not right here. Let me look at this for a second. So maybe this isn't a little typical, because usually this hallway would go down and there would be bathroom, and then there would be bedroom, and then there might be a bedroom behind us. Not sure what this door is, unless it's a shared door. So you could go into the other unit. So here's a bedroom, and this was not too bad. Here's another bedroom, again, not too bad. Oh, I love blurry pictures. Oh, I love blurry pictures. So okay, so they've got newer flooring down here in the bathrooms. Yeah, I mean it's not. It's somebody did some decent work here. I'm not a fan of the bathtub surround, but I mean, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are. Let's see here. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, not bad. A lot of inspectors don't like these are what they call an S-trap. A lot of inspectors don't like S-traps. So you got to be careful of that. I don't have a problem with them. I'm not even sure what the issue is why they don't like them. Maybe somebody knows and put them in the comments. So yeah, so obviously the house is settled. This is probably built in the early 1900s, 1920s, something like that. So there's probably knob and tube running around inside the walls. And in Indiana, you do not have to replace knob and tube as long as you don't disturb it. Now, if you disturb it, if you open up a wall and there's knob and tube in it, you're going to replace it. Looking to see something. Anyway, so again, not too bad. I mean, there's carpets. I don't like carpets in rental properties. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, man, beautiful. It's not the same room. Come on, dude. Why do you even... Don't you even look at your pictures before you post them? Truth or Bear. That's the book down here in the bottom corner. Anybody need some boots? Boots. These boots are made for walking. Basement. Oh, it's got a furnace. Can't tell the age on it. A lot of stuff down here. Does not look like it's got a wet basement. That's pretty good. Again, craptastic pictures. Newer furnace. That's a higher efficiency furnace. It's got the two. You can tell if it's a higher efficiency furnace because of the fact that they've got multiple vent pipes coming out of it. So this is a higher efficiency vent furnace. Now, something interesting. Like, let's say the flue is shot on a property, and you don't want to spend the money. It's like $1,000 or $1,500, or it's probably a lot more than that nowadays. I think we just replaced one, and it was about $1,000. But if you've got a property and you got to replace the HVAC system anyways, and you don't want to mess with the flue, then you can do. You can go port a high efficiency furnace out the side of the property instead of going up and through the flue and all that sort of stuff. Now, if you do that, you got to put in an electric water heater. So you got to make sure you've got enough power in your circuit breakers to power an electric water heater, because you can no longer, because these cannot evacuate out the side. Water heaters cannot. Now, they do offer a version that's got its own, I don't know what I'll say, fan, motor, whatever. So it evacs itself. Now, I don't know if that can be ported out the side as well as like a high efficiency furnace can. But I know that it adds about $300 or $400 to the price of the water heater. So it's probably not worth it, because you can buy a water heater for like $450, $500 and probably get it installed for $150. So, you know, if you're having to replace the furnace and you don't want to mess with the flue anyways, then you can port it out the side. Now, you'll spend a little bit more money. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, I want to put high efficiencies in because it'll save me money. It won't save you money. It'll save the tenant money. And realistically, I ran the numbers 3 or 4 years ago, so I haven't run them recently. But the cost savings, it takes you about 7 years to recuperate the cost on a high efficiency furnace over an 80%er. So in a rental, you'll never see that cost savings. So I would say I always just put 80%ers in. To me, it's not worth it because I'll never recuperate those costs. You know, unless I'm recuperating them in other ways, like I can side vent it because I don't want to replace the flue. Does that make sense? All right. So Newer high efficiency furnace here. The water heater, I can't tell. They're going to show me anything about it. It's a Train XB, whatever that means. Here's the water heater. They're going to show me numbers on it. I can't see. Dude, why do you post these pictures? I don't know. So typically what you want to look for when you're looking at a water heater is you want to look up here in the top where the vent comes out of it in a gas water heater, and you want to see how rusty it is. If it's real rusty in there, then you're probably getting kind of close to end of life. I can't see the dates on this, so it's not worth it. Again, they've got their basement down here. I'm looking to see what I can see. They got their washer dryer down there. They do have this is the drain for the condensation for the AC. Looks like somebody did a poured concrete wall down here. So either that was, they poured it. You'd have to look. But sometimes what they'll do is the old foundation was having issues, and so they'll come in and pour a new foundation, or they will just brick wall up to, and they basically are putting it on the inside. Yeah, I was going to say that, Frank. Frank says that 80%ers are cheaper to repair. I was going to say there's a lot more electronics in a high-efficiency furnace. So, if you have a board go out, you're going to spend a lot more money on that sort of stuff. Let's see here. Here's the rafters. Looks like it's got copper piping, some newer electrical run. Now, interesting, like in basements and in attic spaces, knob and tube can be left alone as long as it's not touched. So you can have in basements like open rafters like this, and you can see knob and tube running. And as long as it looks like it's in good shape, and there's sometimes they'll deadhead them, so they'll come into an insulator on the wall. Let me see if I can get my screen back up here. Here, we'll just do this. Sometimes they'll come into an insulator on a wall, and the line will come in, and then they'll just stop it there, right? Now, you can't have that. I forget the exact regulation, but I want to say you can't have it more than like 2 inches longer. So like one time I had one that came in deadheaded in, and then it came out another 1.5 feet. And it was, it's rigid wire, so it was still hanging out there, but we had to cut it down to like 2 inches or something like that outside of that insulator. But I mean, it's still in Indiana. You can still have knob and tube as long as it's in an area where it's not being messed with. If it's in the residential area, the living area, then if you open up a wall and it's got knob and tube, you're supposed to replace it. Now, what you can do is you could put a junction box. Like let's say it comes in from the floor. It's in the wall, comes into the floor, and then it goes up into the upstairs. You can put 2 junction boxes there and then run new wire. So you can just do it that way, at least in Indiana. So it's got a newer breaker box. This is kind of interesting. Don't ever mention that a house has knob and tube to an insurance company because they will freak out. But they really just don't understand what they're looking at. And I used to do some side work for one of the insurance companies here in Indy. And I went and talked to a couple of their underwriters, and I said, will you insure a house that has knob and tube? And they said, oh, no, you have to have newer breakers. I said, knob and tube doesn't care what it goes into. And they go, yeah, you just have to have breakers. And I go, yeah, but you can run knob and tube wiring into a breaker system and power it that way. And they were like, it was just like deer in headlights look. And they had no clue. And so the one girl started flipping through the code book, and I'm like, and then luckily she got busy, so I didn't have to, continue the conversation. But they don't really understand what's going on. And if you talk to a licensed electrician, and state code says that, again, knob and tube, as long as you don't mess with it, you can keep it in there. So anyway, so this might be a prime example. This property we can't see, but this is circuit breakers, and it may have knob and tube running into it. Ooh, look at all those wires. Fancy. Look at all that wiring. Super duper fancy. I'm trying to see if there's knob and tube. I'm going to assume there is knob and tube in this property, but it does look like there's a lot of newer stuff, and they got this grounded out. So that's good. Some old lighting. Oh, beautiful. Man, dude, your marketing skills are insane. Okay, so this is the other side. So I was right. The other side is vacant. Needs to be refinished. So you're going to have flooring in here. You're going to have walls. You're going to have to repaint. I'd assume you still got to have some electric. There's the fireplace. That's cool. Oh, everybody's calling me now. Look at the floors are shot. Okay, so this brings up an interesting point. What do we do with... Oh, I got to change my screen view. I got to do that, don't I? All right, so here, let's go. But this is beautiful. This is the beautiful shot I was telling you about, some older stuff. There's the beautiful shot. These are, yeah, you got to go through your promo videos, folks, or promo pictures. So the interior of the other unit, it is vacant. I'll assume that's what my Voxer message was. Yep, change screens. Okay. All right, so this is the interior. We're going to have to do floors. Here's our chimney. Here's our staircase. We're going to have to paint the walls, do some patch of paint. We're going to probably have to do some electrical. So this is a good point here, the flooring. I'm a big fan of LVP, luxury vinyl plank systems. I'm in favor of the do not buy the click lock stuff. I want the glue down LVP. Shaw sells a prime plank product. And it makes it super easy. So if somebody damages a single plank, you can replace the single plank. You don't have to rip up the whole floor to get to it. That's the problem with click lock, is you got to rip up a whole floor to get to one plank in the middle. With this stuff, you don't have to. You just pull the one plank up, and the glue is good for 3 applications. So you can pull the plank up, put a new plank down, pull that plank up, put it down, and you're still good. You don't have to replace your glue. So it's a really good product. I really, really like it. I own all the tools to refinish hardwood floors, but I'm just not, unless I'm doing a flip and it's a special case, I'm not doing, I'm not refinishing hardwood floors. So we are putting LVP into everything, and we're doing bathrooms, kitchens, everything gets LVP. Nice front door. And it looks like they've redone the electrical, so there may be hope that we don't have to do electrical on this property. Hey, somebody's foot. That's nice. So here's a transition here. So probably what you would do is you want to put some floor leveler in here to fill this in, the transition. You might be, that might be brick, so you might be able to do something there to save this. You'll probably just have to do a transition between the brick to your LVP. But otherwise, if you're not trying to save this and you're just trying to level it out, then at this small amount, I would just use a floor leveler or a paste or whatever. Oh, look, they got a double oven for this place. Must have got a good deal on it. I like the trim up top here. It looks like they've done some of the work here. There's some electrical there. Does that just need to go back into the wall? Why didn't they put it back in the wall before they sealed it back up? Or is this supposed to be the kitchen? But then there's the drain. Maybe they're planning on, I don't know what they're planning on. So you're going to have to put a kitchen into this property, it looks like. This side, at least. More paint. Is this fire damage here? I don't know what's going on here. Linen or laundry, whatever calls it. Oh, they started to do textured walls. This is what they call, it's either orange peel or it's kind of a popcorn. I think this is an orange peel. So in a lot of newer properties built, late 1990s and in the 2000s, what builders were doing is they were trying to save costs. And so they were, they would do all their drywall, and then they would do this, what they call orange peel. And it's kind of a textured wall. And so they spray it on, and then they just go across it with a big putty knife, and then they just kind of smooth it out. And it looks pretty decent. Most people, when they see it, they wouldn't even realize what it is. The problem is that if you get a hole in the wall or whatever, then you're going to have a hard time patching it up. So, it's like a new car. If you get a ding or a dent or a scratch, it's expensive because they got to do a lot of work to get it, to make it look perfect. Whereas, if it was a flat wall it's super simple to, just lightly sand it, put some, what do you call it, spackle up, sand it lightly, and then repaint it, right? It's a lot easier. But with this stuff, the textured walls, it's a lot harder to touch up later on. So what these guys would do is they would spray this stuff on. They wouldn't have to seal the joints, or they could do very minimal sealing of the joints between different pieces of drywall, and then they could just spray this stuff on, and it looked perfect. So it saved them a ton of time in hanging drywall and finishing the walls. And so a lot of people, it's a good idea for, or let's just say this, it's an idea. We did it for a while on some of these older houses because the walls are so rough, and you don't want to spend the money to fix them right because it's just, there's no cost savings there. There's no return on investment for making the walls look perfect. So we would do this in rooms of houses and stuff like that. But it's case by case basis. All right, more flooring we got to replace. So it looks like they were working on the staircase. Still trying to figure out this floor plan. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Why is that room back there? Bathroom needs to be redone. Vent fan, the fart fan needs to be replaced. Look at that. So if you've ever replaced a fart fan, you might know this already, but they actually have little plugs inside of them. So you'll plug the fan in, you'll plug the light in, just like a normal outlet inside the box. So it's kind of interesting. So that's what they did. They just hung a temporary light off of there. Again, beautiful, beautiful pictures. Come on, dude. I mean, you got 2 crap and then 1 good. So why not keep just the 1 good? You got 2 good in the same picture. So that's another piece of advice. When you're going through a house and you take pictures, take 2 because some of them are going to be blurry. And again, they got it does look like it is the orange peel paint on the walls in this room too. I mean, it looks pretty decent. I mean, it really does. But the problem is patching it up later after the fact. But this allows them to just come through and paint these rooms super fast. Let's see here. So some of this has been redone. I can't tell if that's, I think that's just trash on the floor, not a hole in the floor. So I've kind of gotten distracted by this property. So we're spending a lot more time looking at the inside of it than we should. But I do appreciate that this guy has given us pictures. So, okay, so here's another reason why I would not save these hardwood floors. I mean, they've patched this in. Now, granted, I could go out and scrape and find more hardwood flooring to put in to replace this. But why? I'm just going to, I'm going to put Luan over it, which is a real thin plywood just to make it all super flat, or I'm going to just come in here and spot floor leveler to make this floor flat and then put LVP over top of it. Typically we can install LVP for about $3. No, these are not pictures by Kyle. These are actually a wholesaler who's trying to sell this property. So I'm just looking at this property to see if it's something that interests me. Oh, beautiful picture. So now this looks like there's probably some mold issues and stuff like that. Now, if I'm the buyer, mold is a horrible, horrible, horrible thing. If I'm a seller, it is not that big of a deal. Again, more crappy pictures. I can't see what I really need to see. Oh, look at that. And I don't know what the code is here for this. If that's a newer water heater or not. I usually just look in the vent pipe on the top to see if they're rusty or not. So there's been some foundation issues, so they've put in the jack systems. There's some of our sewer system. Breaker box. What are we looking at here? Exterior window and the foundation, I guess. Okay, I guess these are two doors laying on their sides. There's the furnace. So see, this is an 80% furnace here because you can see there's just one vent coming out of it. Now it does have central air, but this is an older furnace. And typically what I'll do is when I'm looking at a furnace, I'm looking to see rust and deterioration inside the furnace. All right, so I think we're back to the beginning, are we? Yeah, we are. So, I mean, I like it. I think it's got a good look, good appeal, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's run some numbers on this bad boy. Okay, so off the top of my head, I did not write down the numbers, did not run the numbers for you guys. I'm going to probably say that this house probably needs $20,000-$30,000 worth of work. So I'm figuring probably this unit over here is going to need at least 10. This unit is probably going to need 5. I'm going to probably have to put a roof on, and the roof is probably going to cost me 8 to 10. So we're up to like 25. This one may take a little bit more. So I'm going to say it's like $25,000-$30,000, okay? So now let's look at this. So this property is 912 East 22nd Street. Now, we're going to do something that I'm not as fond of anymore. I'm going to go to hotpads.com, East 22nd Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. Hotpads is owned by Zillow or Trulia. But Zillow recently went to a paid model. So if you want to list your rental properties on Zillow, you have to pay to get them listed. And the prices are like $10 a week to list it. So it ends up being around, I want to say a little over $50 a month by the time it's said and done. Because I think they charge $1.65 a day or something, or $10 a week. So anyways, ends up being about $50 a month. So a lot of people, a lot of landlords, especially smaller landlords, are not listing their properties anymore on Zillow. So Hotpads is owned by Zillow, so the comps are going to be really, really close. Or they're going to be pulling their comps from Zillow. And so if they're not listed on Zillow, then we may have an issue. So, all right, so now here's where we're at. So our property is probably around in here. Should be about the center of... should be about the center of this map. So I put in the address up here, including, you got to put in the street identifier. So it's street, drive, avenue, whatever. And you got to put in, comma Indianapolis, comma Indiana, and then hit enter or search. You have to hit the search button. You can't just hit enter. And then it'll pull up a map view, and then you can look around. So here is a 1-bedroom. It goes for $900. Okay. Now, this area here, College over is a lot nicer area. These go for a lot higher values. From College to the east, they're a lot lower values, okay? So, but they're starting to come east, which is nice. So here's a 4-bedroom, so that's $1,300. See, that surprises me that far over is getting for $1,300. So $675. Now these are single families. You can see they look like a single family. These are multi-fams, right? So 1-bedroom's going for $900, 2-bedroom $1,250, 5-bedroom $2,900. This property, I think they said, let's see what they say. Did he say? Let's go back. 3-1 each side. You're a pretty guy. ARV, $185. Okay. So he thinks it's worth $185,000. I'm going to argue with that. So let's run some numbers on this cash flow. All right, so where are we going to go for numbers? I don't like what I'm seeing here because everything that's multifam is on College or West. So that's not helping me out with numbers. So I'm going to also run, give me a second here. Let me fire up my MLS. Now, some people like Rentometer. I don't pay for Rentometer, so they don't give me numbers. I gotta select. 3-bedroom, analyze. So I don't get to see prices, right? And if you look here, this is quite a large area, right? So this is, our property is probably, well, I think that's our area right there. So, yeah, it's right here. So we're seeing stuff that's 8+ blocks away, 10, 12 blocks away. And that's not good value. So you can't trust these numbers. The average is 1251. Well, that's the average over all these. And this didn't say, it didn't offer me the option of, is this a multifam, right? So auto 1.5 miles. So let's do 0.33 miles. See, they won't even let me do it because I don't pay. So I'm a bad person, I guess. And they don't let you specify that this is a multifam. Building type, do they let you? Apartment complex, house duplex. Okay, so they do let you do it that way. But I don't pay for this. So right now we're stuck at their defaults, which is a 1.5 mile radius, which is just stupid. Their number here is stupid because, again, it's pulling all these prices in from 1.5 miles away. And, I mean, let's look here. There's how many? V, I guess. So what's that, like 24? UVWX, 23? 23 listings, whereas even on this one we got 24 listings and we were in a lot smaller area, right? So I'm not a big fan of this. If you're paying for it, then it may be worth it to you, but you're going to want to narrow in a lot closer. I would say like 1/4 mile radius to see your prop values. Now let me, I'm going to pull up, I've got a cheater source. So for $5, we offer what we call a CMA. So I can run a comparative market analysis for you. 1/4 mile radius, active pending and sold. So active pending, solds over the past year, leases over the past 2 years. So we're going to put in our address, 912, what was it, 912 East 22nd Street. Right there. So we're going to come over to our results. So this is stuff that got listed in the MLS. Now again, you have to, anything west of College, which we're within a 1/4 mile radius of, is going to go for a lot higher values. So let's pull up and see what we got on map. Now also, if a realtor or a property manager did not list the property in the MLS, then well, these are all sold. So these are higher rents. That's decent. Nice. So if a realtor did not, if a property manager did not list it in the MLS, then we're not going to see those prices. Does that make sense? It has to show up in there. So I mean, there's a lot of properties in here around. Yeah. Let me zoom in. This thing will give me a break. 292.5. These are sold. Reds are sold. Greens are listed. Red sold. Yellow is pending, or orange are pending. So I mean, there's decent prices in here. So I don't know. I mean, let's be conservative on this thing and say we're going to get 900 aside, right? I think that's conservative, but you know, worst case scenario, we get that done. So it's 1,800 for 2 of them. Now I'm going to put the vacancy rate at 12%. It takes longer to find tenants for these properties. I'm going to put average maintenance or repair costs is a brand new property for us, so we don't know. So I'm going to put 10% into that. I always just factor in an extra 2% for accounting and legal. Property management is 10%, right? Okay, taxes on this bad boy. I did not pull up the taxes. Give me a second here. Let me close that down. Here we go. So, okay, so property insurance. This one's probably going to be a little bit more expensive, so $750. Annual permits. Okay, so now there is no annual permits in Indiana, but I'm looking for a fluff number. All right, well, we're going to do it here. Fluff number here. So, actually, I'm not going to do it there. I'd rather do a yearly number. I can't do a yearly number in miscellaneous. So, you got to, in multifams in Indy, you're going to have a turn every year. You may not, but the average tenant only stays 1 or 2 years in a multifam. So, I would factor that in. And the average turn will cost you about $1,000 to $2,000. So I'm going to factor in every year I'm going to spend $1,000 per unit to do a turn. Now, you may not have it, but then that means extra profit that year. But then the years that you do have it, you're going to be thankful that you got that in there. All right, so let me plug in this address here. Hold on a second here and get the tax information. So purchase price, how much did he want for it? Let me see here. I got the tax now. So the taxes on this property are pretty expensive. $28.32 a year. Okay. So all right. So even we don't know his price, right? We've got our numbers basically in here. 1,800, 28.32 for taxes. We've got our numbers in here for our assumptions: 12%, 10%, 2%, 10%. So $750 for property insurance. That may be a little low. We'll leave it there. Let's just bump it up to $950. And then $2,000 a year in turns. $1,000 per unit basically. So $166.67 there. And then what kind of return rate do you want on this property? Do you want like a 10% cap rate? Do you want a 12%? Do you want, what do you want? If you wanted a 10% cap rate on this property, you need to be at $84,000 all in, right? So that means that in order to do this right, we have to be all in for 84. So if we already figure we got $30,000 in rehab to be done to this house, we need to buy this property for like $54.70 or less. So what's he asking for it? Where's his listing here? He's asking $95. So we're already in the hole. Let's look here. So he's asking $95. Purchase price on the property is $95,000. We're not even going to figure loans in at this point. Renovation expenses, let's say it's $30,000. It may even be a little bit more than that. I mean, I haven't seen the property yet. It's probably $1,000 to buy it. So you're all in. Your basis is $126. Let's just for poops and grins. Land assessed value is $9,200. This is for tax purposes. This is for your depreciation. So $95,000. Blah blah blah. It's about a 6.73% return. Now, if we can bump this up, and I mean, I'm not trying to sell this deal. I don't know what this thing is worth. Let's say we did, let's say it was $1,000 aside, so that's $2,000, not $20,000. Then that brings us up to an 8% return. If we could get $2,200, so basically $1,100 aside, you'd be looking at a 9.2% return. But over in that area, see, we've got a property that's over, let me see here. Let me pull up one of these map views. We have got a property that is 24th and College, like right here. Like this one, right there. It's Carrollton. So this one right here. This property right there. Right there. And we tried to sell it this year. And we got no takers. And it's a pretty property. I mean, it really is. It's a really neat property. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let's see here. I'm probably going to have to go in a different way. Because I don't think it's going to show up in here. Anyways, we've got one just around the corner, or right on College, and it's really a cool little house. And we had a hard time selling it this year, so it's really going to be about looks and stuff like that. And so you're really going to have to, and if you really want to push your rents higher, you're going to have to do a higher end rehab. So instead of $30,000, you're spending $40,000 or $50,000 rehabbing it to make it look really, really pretty. But clearly there's still some blight around this property, right? So you're going to have to compete with that, right? Look right there. So this one's got some blight on it. It's got an older roof, not been well taken care of. This one's in pretty rough shape. There's our property. There was some other pictures of other stuff around us. Oh, wait, back there. So that's across the street. So we got some blight. So a lot of people are not going to want to pay higher rents for this property. Let me see if I got any messages. So anyway, so all right, so if we want to run our numbers, so we know how to run our numbers now. Where did the cash flow analysis go? So I would say that I would want to factor $900 a month just for my own. Now, some of you are more speculative than I am. I'm getting old and I don't like to speculate. So, you might think you could do better. You may be okay doing more. I mean, if you bought it if you could get $1,100 a month, this is also a super small property. Look right here. There's no parking. There's only street parking. Now, I guess they could park over here in this lot, but they might get booted off that lot, right? So you follow me? So there's no parking for people to park their own cars in that lot. So I feel real comfortable with my numbers being around 900, so 1,800. So this property right here, I don't think it's worth it. I mean, you're talking. I'm not putting 18,000. That's fine. Heck yeah, it's 108%. So 6.73%. Now, if you're okay with that, you're expecting the rest of the neighborhood to come up, you want to own it for 3 to 5 years, then you could do that. But we ain't living in New York, in Brooklyn, where you're betting on appreciation, not, cash flow. So anyway, so I guess that's that one. All right. I meant to do multiples today. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see if we can run some different ones. I'm not going to look at these things. That's mine. Let's go back to this site here. So that one was kind of a cool one, but the numbers don't work. Surprise, surprise. That's what you'll see a lot of. Here's a Kessler Ranch. That might be a flip. I don't want to do a flip if we're going to do one real quick. But let's just do this. Let's just go back to cash flow analysis. So the basic tools you really need are you need to be able to run comps to figure out what rents are going to be like in your area, whether you use hot pads or you use Rentometer or you pay us $5 and get a CMA of active pending and solds, whatever. You need to get your own comps, right? And then you can really just work backwards. So you can plug in, okay, I think it's going to rent for $1,000 a month. It's a single family, so it's 8%. I would always factor if it's a used house, a house that you don't know anything about, it's been around for a while. I would always factor high on your repair costs, because when people are getting ready to sell property, they are doing deferred maintenance. They are not fixing anything unless it absolutely positively has to be fixed. And so you're going to have to deal with all the little idiosyncrasies that need to be fixed that never were. So I always factor 10% of gross rents going to that, 2% for accounting legal, 10% for property management. Even if you are going to self-manage, I would still factor in that 10%. Because A, you're paying yourself, and B, anybody else who's looking to buy it from you is going to factor in the 10% property management. So finding that guy who's going to self-manage is not worth the extra investment. So you're always going to, all you really need to do is plug in your rents. You're going to plug in your taxes, property taxes. You're going to factor in your property insurance. And then, on multifams, I always factor in extra $1,000 per month or per year. Per year, per unit, just because the turns are a lot higher, and turns are what kill you. And then you can just, from those numbers alone, you can figure in your desired cap rate. I want to make 15%. And it's going to tell you what your max allowable offer is. Your purchase price for desired cap rate. Well, that's a little misleading. The purchase price is your max allowable offer, your all-in price. So, that's what you can easily run these numbers on any ad that you look at. So, I can look at, and this guy's gone. I can look at this one here. That's a flip. These are all flips. Yeah, see, this one's just crazy high. After a while, you get used to looking at prices. And I don't know if you're looking for rentals, it's a different beast than if you're looking for, nice. I'm going to give you an ad, 10 grand, but I'm going to show you a $1 million house and a $1 million car. Logansport, that's too far away. That's cleaning company. What? $1. Distressed properties. Yeah, these prices are all crazy high. I mean, they're more looking for flips and stuff like that, and that's fine if that's your model. A lot of people. Let's run this address here. They just give you crap. I mean, they pull. Now I may be wrong. Let's go look and see. I may be wrong, and this might be great numbers, but he's saying that the ARV is 155,000, right? Do we show pictures? Won't get lost in the pictures. Siding needs to be replaced. Roof needs to be replaced. Yeah, see how you can see the roof, the shingles are missing some shingles, and it's starting to peel up a little bit. Only 2 pictures. All right, so let's pull up, just real quickly, let's pull up the address on this property. So a lot of guys will, and this is a prime example, will cherry pick their comps. So this guy, not this one. Let me close him out. This guy is saying 954 West 32nd Street. The ARV is $155,000 or more. So I just pulled up a CMA on this property. Do you see something? $155,000 or more. Look at this. This is a 1/4 mile radius of active, pending, and solds over the past year. Do you see what he did? Oh, look, there was one that sold for $155,000. But the rest of them are 20, 22, 33, 40, 93. So this is a highly speculative. And this one is kind of, I mean, he's cherry picking to be nice. Oh, brother. I shouldn't have showed the name. It seems like he's cherry picking. So anyway, this is, where's our subject property? Let's look at this one. So this one is rented, 2-bedroom, 1 bath is rented for $599. This is our $155,000 one. It's a 4-bedroom, 3 bath. What is this property? This property is 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. So let's look at this some more. I'm going to dig in. Maybe I'm a bad guy. Maybe I'm bad-mouthing this guy for no apparent reason whatsoever. So let's look at this listing. I mean, most of the properties are not selling for that price. $155. How long was it on the market? 143 days. It was heavily redone. Yep. New recessed lighting throughout. They probably did a lot of drywall work. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice house. Kitchen's nice, high end, nice bathroom. That's probably a 40 to 60K rehab, minimum. Bathroom is nice. I mean, it's nice. I don't know how it comped that high. I really do not know how it comped that high. The basement's nice, but look, they might have some seepage problems. Backyard's decent. Man, I don't know. Who comped this? Who appraised this thing at 155 when all the neighbors are crap? See, rebuilt from the studs. The seller will have the fridge and stove installed before closing. Seller will provide a $1,000 Visa card, gift card to buyer's agent if an offer is received by January 30th, 2020. Willing to offer a credit at closing towards a carport installation. This was a VA loan. I don't know. When did it close? In July. Pending date, February. So, sat on the market for 143 days. I mean, to my eyes, and I'm not trying to badmouth the guy who's selling it, because I know him. But I think we cherry picked our comps. This one here, listed for 149.9. It's been on the market for 149 days. I mean, it's a nice house,
but it's in the wrong area. I mean, you know, you'd have to be highly speculative to get this stuff done. And I don't know if I'd want to be highly speculative. If he did a true to the studs rehab, then it's going to be a different beast. I mean, a different price to do that rehab. Anyways, so like I say, if you can get these numbers here, and you should easily be able to do that. You can look at an ad and figure out where you need to be. And then when you go look at the property, you can come in and say, you know, it needs $20,000 worth of work, so I'm at X price versus my other one. Or, you know, you negotiate, try and get a little bit better deal on it. So, I mean, there's really only certain numbers you need to run the numbers on them. Just basic math. So anyways, all right, it's 10:30. I'm done with you guys. Thanks for checking in. Click the like button, please. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, put them below. Sorry I got distracted by that one property. But I think it was a good, there was some good info in there about how to do, what to look for, what not to look for, so on and so forth. Anyways, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.